There are certain truths that you can only understand after you surrender to them, right? So this is the nature of Krishna consciousness. And why? Because this truth is higher than ourselves. It's categorically higher than ourselves. And it will only descend and reveal itself to us on the basis of mercy, grace. Because we don't own it. We don't deserve it. There's no right to it. It's higher than us. So we can only understand it if we surrender to it. And so this is where the importance of surrender to the Vaishnava becomes so important, right? We have to always defer to the vision of those who have a higher level of surrender than ourselves. Right? This is a very crucial point. And this is why this empiric mood of this doesn't make sense to me, so I'm not going to follow it. This is useless in Krishna consciousness because it's a layer of truth that we won't know unless we reach a certain level of surrender, right? So this is the culture of faith, right? This is something beyond me. This is something that I can't actually understand. It's something that I can't know or touch upon at my current level of perception, right? Because there are higher faculties that are required in order to touch upon, to understand, to know this higher truth. So therefore, all we can do is surrender. All we can do is submit. All we can do is worship that. I don't understand this truth. I'm not experiencing this, but I'm going to worship it. And I'm going to worship those who are carrying it. Right? This is a very crucial point in Krishna consciousness. We have to defer. So tarko pratishta, right? Shutaya vibhina, nasavishir yasya matam navinam. This mahajano yena kata. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam mahajano yena kata sapanta. Right? This is where will you find dharma? Where will you find truth? It's living in the heart of the self-realized souls, the saints, the sadhus, the Vaishnavas, the devotees. It's living in their heart. Why is it living in their heart? Because they've fully given themselves to it. They're serving that. They're dedicated to that. So it's coming out of mercy, out of attraction. It's a scientific chemistry. It's a magnetic pull that takes place. In reciprocation with the spirit of surrender, that truth will come and reveal itself. So where will you find dharma? Where will you find truth? In the hearts of these great souls. So then what do? Where does that leave us? We haven't reached that high level of surrender. So what do? We surrender to those persons who have surrendered. And we defer to their calculation. They can see. They have higher vision because they've surrendered. They've had the capacity to surrender themselves to it. So we will defer to their higher vision, their higher calculation, their higher view of the environment. And this is very difficult for the humanistic, arrogant spirit, independent spirit, right? The empiric mentality and approach, right? That I want to see it, I want to know it before I surrender. But you can't know it unless you surrender. This is the tricky thing. So this is why we have to proceed always with great care, great caution and humility. And we are ready, we are always ready to throw ourselves in a spirit of surrender. And sincerity, then someone may say, oh, then what happens if I surrender to the wrong thing? That is where sincerity will save us. If we have that spirit, I sincerely want to submit myself to the highest truth, then we may make some error sometimes, but if we are sincere, the Lord will guide us. The saints will come and they will show us the way. These are my thoughts.